Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad where we get together and we create a card. Today's card is a rainbow of love. Look at how fun this is. It uses one of our stamp sets that I really love. It's Birthday for Subways, and I'll show you everything that it uses, but it uses this stamp set and our markers, and this card is so easy. Even the kids can help you on this one. Let me show you what you need to do to create it. So there's our cute little card. You need, of course, like I said, the stamp set, Birthday for Subways. Now this is fun. This stamp set is really fun because it's one stamp, but so it's like kind of like a background stamp. But if you didn't want to use it for a background stamp, you could easily stamp it and then cut it, not your stamp, don't cut the stamp, but cut your paper and use just one of those words or two of those words or whatever you wanted to. So it's a really fun and versatile set. Now we're also going to use our markers, and we are actually going to use probably both, so I should grab both. We're going to use both sets, set 1 and set 2, because we're going to do a mixture of rainbow colors. We're also going to be using our banner set, and well, it's the banners for, I always get confused, banners for planner set, and the dies that match, because we're going to add a little banner on there, and our stitched rectangles. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry, and archival ink pad. Now, the archival ink pad is different than the die ink pads, just be warned. Once you use this on your stamp, it will stain your stamps, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt your stamps in any way. It's just gonna allow us to color over it with our water-based markers and or our water pens if we wanted to use those as well. So just know it's gonna stain your stamps, but it does not hurt them, okay? Good. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that's been cut and then folded in half. So that's an A2 size card. And then what we're going to do is we're going to die cut the smallest, and I'm hoping you can see this. Yes, you can. We're going to die cut, the largest stitched rectangle. So we're going to just lay that down, of course, at an angle because we don't want any speed bumps. And we're going to lay that down. We're going to run that through. Now, I've already I already cut a piece of rectangle that's going to go right in that large rectangle. So, that was the only, we got to redo that. Luckily, I already have one cut, so I grabbed the wrong one. This is the one I want to grab, not this one. I grabbed the only stitched rectangle, and if you do the only stitched rectangle, you will only get a stitched rectangle, so don't use that one. That's funny. This one uses the stitched rectangle, so let's pretend I already cut that out. Okay, well, I did already cut it out, but here we go. Now, I have a rectangle that's going to fit just perfectly just inside that. You can use our double rectangle that we have to get that. And I am going to get a piece of scratch paper. And I opened up a new pack of paper, and look, I couldn't put this in my printer because it had that little tear on it. So it'll be perfect for this. And we are going to stamp this. Now I'm going to get out this stamp. And it is a large, that smell. It is a large stamp, so we're gonna peel this off. Ooh. And we're gonna lay this down. Now this is the first time I've used it, so the first time you ever use a stamp, you're always going to want to stamp it onto scratch paper first. The second image, the third image, every image after that is gonna get better and better and better. So we're gonna ink this baby up, and we wanna get it nice and inked up. Make sure that you get ink on all of it. A lot of times people will say, oh, the stamp's broken. Well, no, the stamp's not broken. You just need to ink the whole thing. So check it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna, of course, use our secret weapon below us. When you have a big stamp like this, you must use the secret weapon below you. And look what I'm doing. I'm pressing on the back of that stamp. There is so much surface area on this stamp that you want to make sure you're pressing on the back. A lot of times people will get a big stamp like this and they'll just push it like that and think they're going to get enough image, and they're not. But look how gorgeous that looks. Fantastic, because I pressed on the back and I'm using the secret weapon. So now let's do that for real. We're going to do that right like this. Again, we're going to ink our little guy up here. Make sure we get full coverage all over. Okay, and we're going to flip this over. Now we want it to be a little straight here, so we're going to pay attention. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way so I can make sure I get it. And we are going to go right That looks awesome. And again, we're gonna press on the back, press on the back. I like to really make sure that I go to the corners and to the sides and to the center. The center is usually where you're gonna have the most trouble if you're not using the secret weapon, because it's a physics thing. Remember back in the olden days when we used wooden stamps and they had that little gray foam and then the pink or the red rubber? Well, why did they have that gray foam? No one ever told us, but it's a physics thing. You have to have two squishy items, the foam and the stamp, in between your hard rubber, your hard block and your hard table. So you have to have that two squishy items. Well, with clear stamps, you don't have that squishy item. So we're reintroducing that squishy item underneath us to get, let me show you, a beautiful, beautiful impression. Isn't that fantastic? Now, let's color. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move that over because that's really still inky. And we're gonna lay this down and we are gonna do some coloring. Now, we picked a rainbow of colors and I'm gonna use, one down. I'm going to use the blue from this one because I have 3 blues in that one. Okay, so we're gonna use the red. So we're gonna do red, orange, yellow, green. Ooh, which green do we wanna use? We use artichoke. Okay, green, blue, that blue, this blue, and this blue. Okay, we are good to go. And let's color this baby. Now what we're gonna do, I wanna get a new piece of scratch paper because I don't wanna contaminate anything. And we're gonna start at the bottom, because I like to go in rainbow order. So we're gonna start at the bottom, red. And literally, this is the fun part. You're just gonna color. And we're gonna kind of scribble. And I'm gonna go off the page to make sure that I really get nice even coverage. So I'm just gonna color like that, red. Okay, switch. Orange. Next. There's no wrong way to do it. This is where I said the kids can really help you if you want them to. Orange. Then we're gonna switch. Yellow. How fun is this? And there's no wrong way to do it. Yellow. Green. Blue, and we're gonna go with this blue first. Okay. And then light blue, sky. That is so pretty. And then finish with blueberry. Look how fun that is. Isn't that beautiful? Easy peasy, right? So now we're gonna move those off to the side. We're gonna let that dry for a second because it is a little wet. Let that dry. Look at my pretty scratch paper. Even the scratch paper is pretty. Let's put our card together. And oh, you know what? We still need to do one more thing. We are going to stamp and die cut this banner. So let's open this guy up. Ugh, and I don't think this stamp set is that new because it has some ink residue on it still. But let's just double check. Oh, and you know what? We need banana. Let's grab some banana. We're gonna ink this baby up. And I don't know if this is the first time I've used it, so we're gonna stamp it, but we can always turn it over if we need to. Oh, that looks great. Okay, so we're going to die cut that. Now, of course, I'm using my magnetic platform because that's very important, so we don't have to worry about it. And this one is a brand new die. So let's get this lined up right there. Perfect. And we're gonna run that through. Smaller cutting pad means less time. Less time waiting. Okay. And we have that die cut. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and put this on there. So this is our stitched rectangle. Oh, adhesive. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna add that right to the front of our card. Oh, you know what? Ribbon. We wanna do ribbon first. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's add this on there and then we'll do our ribbon. So we're gonna add this one on there. I'm actually using the one my team already made for me because that one's still a little wet. So we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna get the ribbon, and we want the ribbon to go in between the card and the one layer. So we're just gonna lift that up a little. We're gonna lay that down and we're gonna tie a little bow. And now press that down. Actually, let's add a little bit more adhesive. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so let's tie our cute little bow. Now, there is a bow video. If you have trouble tying your bows, there is a bow video. So go to our video section and type in bow. I think it's just, you have to be in the video section and type that in the search box, and the video will come up. And it will show you how to tie perfect little bows. It's one of the few crafty things my mother taught me. My mother is not a crafty person. She'll admit that to anyone that asks. My aunt and my grandmother, on the other hand, did every craft on earth. Okay, that's where I got it from. Okay, so now we're going to turn that around, and we're going to add our cute little banner that we cut. And if I can find some popped squares, and of course there's none here because I think I traveled with them and took them somewhere. So we'll just use adhesive. You could pop this up if you wanted to. We're going to add this right here. Actually, let's go right there. And then we're going to add our cute little balloon. So we have a little felt balloon in here. I'm going to grab this little guy. And I like to use the little glue dots for these because the felt, it just helps. Or you could also use just liquid glue. Will work awesome too. So we're going to add this. And look at how cute our card is. That is adorable. How fun is that? What a rainbow full of love. So we're going to open that up. We're going to write our little message, and we're going to send this off. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and make a fun rainbow card. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.